Today I'm going to show you how we store our supers for the winter. Hello, I'm Gruffydd, welcome to Gwenyn Gruffydd. Here we talk everything beekeeping, farming, countryside living, and we do reviews as well. Now, it is way past halfway through honey extracting. Probably more than halfway, to be honest with you. And a lot of you guys are messaging, how do we store our supers? Do we store them dry? Do we store them wet? What's the score? Well, we did cover this a few, whether it was last year or the year before, I can't quite remember, but we basically store all our supers wet. We never store supers dry. The only supers we store dry are the supers that never got filled or they're new supers. So that's the only ones that dry. We prefer to store everything wet. Now the reason we store them wet is we're obviously extracting honey now. It is, are we into November now, Andy, or is it still end of October?
Saturday, tomorrow. Tomorrow
is the 1st of November. So I mean, normally we finish extracting, well, I say December. Last year it was after, and the year before was into January. But this year, easily, we're going to finish extracting in November. Now, in November, even October, and especially anything later, you're not exactly going to be able to put these boxes back on the bees for them to clean them out and dry them. So that's just basically out the question for us. But the beauty of storing supers wet is, as long as you wrap them up, wax moth will never be an issue, and you'll pull those supers out in spring, and the wet supers is actually rocket fuel for the bees in spring. So that gets them excited and it kickstarts the brood rearing, gives them instant energy, and they get a fantastic start to the year by getting wet supers on. But you've got to protect the wet supers because you don't want bees and wasps and hornets and all these other things being attracted to the supers in storage. So the way we do it is basically, we've got a new system. We've copied a lot of other bee farmers. You may have remembered from Victor's video. He makes his own pallets. He puts supers on the pallet wraps them, and then stacks them, well, probably 4 high in the shed, maybe 5 high. Now we can't do that, but we do something similar. So we wrap them up on a pallet like that. Well, it's easy to move on a fork truck now. 6x4, 24 supers per pallet, and then in the container we put them 2 high. Now you may see that gap up there thinking, well, why didn't you go an extra one? And that is a good question, because we asked the same question, but by the time you come through this doorway, that extra bit of, I don't know, 5 inch of steel stopped you coming in with 2. So unfortunately, that's how we store it. And we can go back, I can't remember off the top of my head how far back we go, but we go back 1, 2, 3, that's 4 layer. So there'll be 5 rows, Andy, yeah?
Yeah, 5 rows of 2. So you get 10 across the bottom, and then you double stack them, so you get 20. Each one's 24 on, so in total it's 480 supers to the container.
There we go. And unfortunately, we got more than that many supers. Now, there's some right in the back which are totally new and dry, we haven't used. We should have kept them out, but we run out of space, so we put them in. But what's left to do will still live in the warm room. You may have seen the warm room with us. I'll put a link in the video. So we've got a little warm room where that used to be able to hold all our supers. Now it's nowhere near. But between this container and that warm room, we still got enough dry bee-proof storage to hold our supers. But moving forward, this is how we're going to be storing supers, 2 high in a container. Now we have got a yellow container that is going to be moved. That's going to be moved. We're going to sell this layer of big bales, keep that layer of big bales. There's another container going there. Between the two of them, we're going to have enough super storage and enough storage for other boxes. That basically is taking up all our workshop space. I'll show you that in a minute now as I'm going back. But basically, this is totally insect proof. When I say insect proof, we did try to put a little bit more mesh on the inside. That's just come off there. This container being second hand, like the anti-condensation thing paint on it isn't as good as a new container. It's stuck on pretty good there, but if I take it on there is actually a smaller mesh on the outside there, so I don't think bees will go in, but you might get flies and midges and whatnot in there, but I'm not concerned about that. As long as wax moth, well, wax moth, because they're wet, wax moth don't bother me anyway, but as long as wasps and bees can't come in here, this poses no biosecurity risk to the honey farm or anything, because you know we've got bees across 3 counties. You don't want our local bees robbing supers. That is something you definitely don't want to win, and is a disease risk. So we haven't got that. The container is locked, it's safe. Even this being wet, there's a hell of a lot of money worth of boxes and wax and frames in there. We want to store it securely. So yeah, that's our super storage. We'll just watch Andy expertly pack this in. And if you're wondering how do we get these back in, well, we drop them there, then we take them on a manual pallet pump and we physically move them in the back. The fork truck is not container spec, so it can't drive in. Maybe in the future we'll have a container spec fork truck. There we go, expertly done. Nice work, Andy.
Thank you very much. It's left in the doorway for now because I'm going to stack another one on top of it. No point pushing this down to pull it back, to put another one on to push it all back again. And it's a different angle to the others at the back as well, because when you're loading, you haven't got the space for the rows as they are all the way back, so you twist the last 2 round to lock it in to get everything in nice.
And if you're wondering, have we got matching coats on? Almost. And of course, both are Carhartt, because we're serious people, and only serious people wear Carhartt. Right, now to show you the workshop, why we need another container, because I think I've shown you guys the workshop before. It is more of a storage area than a workshop at the minute, and we're trying to get it into a proper workshop where we're not storing so much stuff in here. And as you can see, we just got boxes of kit. That's a lot of these will have bees in them next year. We've got the nukes, frames. I mean, you know, how are we supposed to work in here when there's just so much kit? Got a bit of a waxing station down here, but we want to get all this into dry storage in a container with new frames in them, clean, sterilised down. We may go down the wax dipping route. I'm very, very tempted to do that, and we'll actually have this as proper workshop space. I don't think it'll be as good as a workshop as what you saw with Victor, but we're planning on having quite a decent one, so we can at least paint, repair, make frames, repair some kit in a shed, in a dry shed, without being covered in stuff that we've got to store. And that's it. That's how we store supers. Sean's just come in, I can see. He's gonna feed the calves now. All go here in Gwenyn and Griff. It is a Friday. Everybody's looking forward to finishing the day and enjoying the weekend. So we'll see you guys in the next video.